Wow, you got a nat 1.
Mm-hmm. So he's
Yeah.
anti-Gyarados.
Yeah, he actually
He always
just
trusts Fennel.
he just decided that that the most trustworthy member of your party was Mithridates.
He was like, my casual racism when we first met you. It was wrong. I apologize.
I was being possessed by the black goat of the woods.
She comes to me in my dreams and makes me say anti-Semitic remarks.
Not on stream, she doesn't.
Oh, that's true.
Only anti-elf remarks.
Yes, yes.
All right, so what a motley crew you have, to be honest. There's still just off screen. There's the fucking Kyle Fistjaw Steel Watch trio down there. That's that's truly impressive. So you guys are all
random people are gonna come in.
when we set off here, right? When we last spoke to this party 1 week ago today, we saw that there was a good amount of candor amongst the party as they planned their next moves, but they were being eavesdropped on by a particularly small compatriot, or at least a traveler, eavesdropper, spy, perhaps, turned compatriot, as Shoulder wrangled the slippery Fizz, the kobold here. And that was the introduction of Fizz to the party. And so since then, there's been a little bit of tension about, what's going on between the party and Fizz. Of course, Shoulder seems to have taken a quick liking to him, to the point where they are having adventures around the town and also in the forest that they have currently not spoken to anybody else about. The looks like the sort of culmination of all of what you guys have achieved is that you've been able to secure not just safe passage back to Sestan, but perhaps a lasting peace for everyone in this area, having triumphed over the Ibinar's arms in this location. But you've also uncovered quite a few unsettling things, and those reports have been filed to Captain Gilroy of the Guard here locally, and, of course, the head priest, Elric, the father of the current Lathandar order, who was actually visited by Benson in the last session, where Arkin was dropped off for the time being so that the two of them could plan things. And Arkin did mention that while he would be remaining for the time being, just to make sure that the town of Sestan was still, going to be protected well, he was planning on taking his own quest, sort of his own journey to serve Lathandar better, and that he would seek Benson out at a later point. And they kind of exchanged a little bit of info as to where Benson might be found next. So it was a nice little moment there between the two of them, and then Benson left with Brother and moved to the Evernear Tavern. Obviously, during that time, we had Mithridates just kind of move into the tavern first, and we'll get to what he ends up doing shortly. Jason was quick to follow us the second place to the tavern there, which is maybe the surprise to everybody, knowing Jason's habits with regards to alcohol. But that was because he was attempting to commune with Umberlee by finding a sort of secret little sigil of the dark underwater goddesses, and basically was able to at least attempt to commune and attempt to get some kind of information. Enigmatic though Umberlee seems to be, there was confirmation of contact in Jason's mind. After that, we had Shoulder and Fizz fresh off their meeting with a certain goat in the woods. They wandered back to town, a little bit unsettled by the discussion and the revelation, and then wandered into the market and found out that Fred the Frog is capable of imbibing very large quantities of food at once. And they also committed minor acts of terrorism towards some of the, one particular elderly nodding off shopkeep. So there was that too. And they were the last ones to return to the tavern. So I think they probably coincided with Benson and Brother, actually. So is there any other details people want to have me keep track of or give reference to? Anything that I missed on that recap that people want to bring up?
I do have a.
Eyes.
Yeah, we
If
do have
I-
5.
If I can insert a couple of like downtime activity requests, which are mainly just shopping, let me know. Otherwise, I'll wait until it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think basically like the end of the night here may end up progressing relatively without notice, right? Without incident. It really depends on. I don't think that there's really much. It seems very likely that you'll be able to have an opportunity to do that. So, if you want to put those in your character thread, or if you want to just hold on to them until the time is up to like when everybody's getting ready. I will be asking if anybody is doing any downtime actions pretty soon. So at least I think it'll be pretty soon. So with all that said, I mean, I'm assuming Benson, you and brother are moving into the Evernear Tavern, right? Like with the rest of the crew. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll drop my buying request in the character thread here in a second.
Okay. Sounds good. There is a very quiet moped outside my window. So stand by for that.
Oh yeah, it's taking off.
Yo, it's going to space.
Space bed.
Base bed. And yes, of course, as my brother did point out, pies were secured.
This is indeed true.
I believe it was 4 altogether. No, 3 altogether, right? You bought all 3 of the fruit pies? I don't think
Every
you bought
pie
any
I
of the
had.
other one.
No, just all the fruit ones.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Just as a sort of background thing, other than like the guard captain that we met and the paladins of Lathandar, like who's actually in charge of this town? They're like a family or
yeah, so Jason, it's an interesting question. You as Jason would be aware that like just from conversations with the locals, that there was a baron that operated things from the Sestini Keep, but that you haven't actually ever seen them, and it seems the locals stopped talking about them semi-recently. Like the last time you heard any conversation related to the baron, it was like, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I forget how long you've been in Sestam, but
it's been a while because Jason did that whole wandering thing all the way to here and then sat around forever because river.
right. So I think based on that, you haven't really seen any. You've never actually set eyes on the Baron, and you don't like. They didn't even really say the name of the Baron. They were just like, yeah, the Baron's not around anymore, or they stopped talking about the Baron, right? So, since then, from all you've seen, the guards have seemingly basically it's been like almost martial law, and so maybe you could say that if Jason is thinking about that to any degree about like the power structure of the city, it might be a question on his mind about, okay, well, now that that's happened, maybe the Baron fled or something, and now he's going to return, presumably. Like that might be something that you ask Gilroy if you want to later, if you think Jason is thinking about that. But as far as Jason's background knowledge goes, the Baron hasn't been seen, and the guards have been running the place for the time being. So.
All right.
Okay, so
The city must be purged.
this entire city must be purged.
They're all Ibanars. They're all just bandits in waiting.
Yeah, they you smash their houses and then they start turning into bandits. So I am going to stream the stuff here as well because
Benson's just Arthas.
I'm going to start pulling people in as they arrive. So
Into the tavern.
Yes, that is right. So, Mithridates, you are first up. We'll say that you, maybe I can pull you back out here to the very entrance of the tavern, but you walk past the guard who gives you a nod of recognition, apparently, or at the very least, permission. And as you enter, your eyes will be brought to the sweeping expanse of the tavern, and you'll see a familiar sight, right? A lot of tables, decent amount of patrons, although a stark absence of patrons at the bar. Instead, it seems they are all spending time at the, eating. Perhaps it's the time of day. And
I see stuff, Shambler.
yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I started seeing my text again, and I realized, oh shit, it's that thing. So
It's because you're
now I see
typing.
the city.
It's because you're typing and your token is invisible in this map, and that's what I would
Oh.
think anyway. So just don't type.
Okay. Okay.
Or you can try anyway. If you try again and see if it breaks it, that might be a repeat.
Well, I reloaded. I'm looking at the city.
Yeah.
And that's.
I can't believe you're asking Shambler not to type.
Yeah, I know. It's a losing proposition. All right. There's a portly man standing behind the bar, and he's polishing off a glass. As you approach, he steps towards the bar and puts it down, and then steps towards you a bit and says, "Salutations! What can I get for you?"
2 waters.
He gives you a little furrow of his brow as if he's surprised at the request, but he produces 2 glasses, and you hear the sound of dunking into the water before he presents them to you and says, "Water's all it'll be. Call it on the house." And then steps away to continue polishing his other glasses.
This is where he pranks Jason.
Oh, perfect. Well,
This is where you get your throat slit.
not in the tavern, dude. Okay, so if there is Mithridates just gonna sit here with the waters, or does Mithridates have other plans?
He's gonna sip the water and pay attention and just examine the room.
Okay. Well, in that case, one of the first things you may recognize, one of the first people you may recognize here is the pair, Carold and Bree, 2 of the members of Lathandar's order that apparently are enjoying a meal and a beverage off over yonder. They don't seem to have noticed you yet, as they're in the midst of talking. But they seem to be in good health, and they are also patronizing the tavern.
I will leave them be because that's just how my Judaism rolls.
Sounds good. We'll say about 5 to 10 minutes pass, and then Jason also arrives. I'll go ahead and bring him in.
Moment of truth.
Oops, I closed that for you. My bad.
I see the tokens, and then it's just black.
Ah,
I
your
see a
own.
token of the night.
Epic.
Yeah, I see every token.
You should control F5. Hold control and hit F5 to reload. Maybe that will help.
Quick BRB.
Okay. I wonder why this only happens to Shambler. I don't think anybody else is
To
ever...
speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Speakers. That makes sense.
That's the only common denominator. Like, we all have headphones except him. He's gone.
He's got to
He's
reload.
gone into the void.
He control F5 to his whole computer.
That's right.
Well, his speakers probably went out, so...
Oh, he's typing. The suspense.
He's-
His computer had a heart attack. I told you, control F5 to his computer.
That's honestly very impressive.
Dude, what kind of computer does this guy have?
Apparently an elderly one.
Well, if his speakers are any indication, it might be a Dell from 2007.
We'll have to check.
Windows Vista?
He might have barely upgraded it enough for it to run Windows XD.
XD.
I'm playing chess.
Well, I guess since we are going to be waiting a moment for Shambler to return, we can get. We could ask for if there's going to be any downtime actions now, since that way we can progress. Shambler says that Jason sits down and orders alcohol. So
I'm phone posting.
Looks
he's phone
Oh,
posting to play D&D. I can't believe it.
epic.
You sit right next to Mithridates at the bar, Jason? Oh, he's gone.
All right, so
Drinking
Jason goes to the bar,
Yep.
sees Mithridates, comes over. He orders an ale for both of them. And yeah, we proceed from there.
Does he grimace at the sight of two waters?
Does he notice that there's roll on insight or something? Or
No,
perception
you
from me
can
if he
you can
notices
see
water?
the water. I think that's fine. But what does Mithridates do?
He just
Yeah,
has
well.
a giant shit-eating grin as he offers Jason a water.
Oh, does he? Jason will say, roll me a wisdom check and tell me what it is.
You'll never believe. It's a 20.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. With grace, why is Discord updated and giving me, why is everything look different? What the, okay.
You Windows
Yeah,
updated into a
it's-
broken computer, dude.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's the best kind of Windows update.
With all the grace that he can summon, Jason says, "No, thank you, laddie." And then he just takes the cup and moves it away, very far away from him. Do the ales arrive?
Yeah, the ales are in the process of being poured as you do that. Does Mithridates have a reaction?
No, he just laughs quietly to himself.
Well, the ales are poured.
Jason with the same shit-eating grin. Well, Jason with a neutral expression, sort of just puts the ale next to Mithridates.
Okay. That's right, 2 ales for him.
Well, I'm back in the city.
Yeah, I have to pull you into it. See if it works for you this time.
I have eyes. Now let's see if I can join the Discord call. 1 second while I morph into an abomination.
True.
Hallelujah, baby. We're up and running.
Let's go. All right, so the two of you are about to start imbibing alcohol. If there's no other like quick conversation you guys want to make, we can bring in the last of the homies and say another few minutes pass or whatever. But I think it sounded like Shambler or Jason rather was trying to get a counter rise out of Mithridates here, as he puts the mug of ale down before the elf.
Mithridates will accept it and drink it in one gulp.
Whoa.
Well, not one gulp, but in one go.
Yeah, like okay.
He's not gonna Fred the
He's gonna
Froggy.
chug it.
Yeah. He's chugging it. Well, as you see Mithridates start chugging the ale, the barkeep remarks, "Damn, didn't know he drank." And Mithridates will need to make a Constitution save, just to see how effective this ale is. Ooh,
Ooh, that
natural one. Ooh.
natural one. Holy.
Mithridates, you
Does
set
his
the
face flush red?
you set the flask down, and perhaps a little bit of an inadvertent sputter, as it's all immediately gone to your head. You're not wasted. You're just like, it's very clearly you feel the altering of your your stimulus as you're
As he feels this, Jason slaps him on the back and says, "Aye, he's one of the good ones," and then proceeds to do the same.
Okay. Well, now you can
Jason
do your
is-
own con check.
This is the same day, so Jason fails. He's tipsy now.
Okay. So you both look like a couple tipsy louts at the bar, and the barkeep can only laugh and then gesture to something underneath his bar, which you suppose is where he produced the ale in the first place, as if offering another round.
Without even consulting Mithridates, another 2 are ordered, along with whatever roast meat and potatoes they have for Jason.
Okay. Well, the barkeep takes your empty flasks, your empty mugs, I should say, and begins to fill them. As he does so, he sort of shouts over his shoulder and says, "Mary, we got an order," and relays your order to the woman, who begins to prepare the supplies as you requested. So while that's happening, or maybe as the second round is being poured, we can say that some of the rest of our homies arrive. And I guess I can just go ahead and straight up activate
Yo,
this
it's
so
homie
everybody's
time?
in. It is homie time. So we're going to say that Fizz and Shoulder meet Benson, and hold on, I forgot a very important friend. There you go. Benson and brother at the entrance to the tavern. And like maybe this is technically you can
Where's
say.
my frog?
Oh yeah, hold on.
Where's my frog?
There you go. So Benson, you're going to approach with brother in tow as you witness what can only be Shoulder, since Fizz is atop one shoulder and Fred the Frog is atop the other. This strange totem has taken notice of you. So Shoulder, are you like waving or gesturing towards Benson or anything in particular as you notice Benson and brother approach?
Shoulder will. I'm assuming he probably hasn't even put his pies away. You know, he's probably just like holding the bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna be like, "Hi, Benson."
Greetings, brothers. Seems we've managed to find our way here at the same time.
Wait, I'm your brother too?
But of course, brother.
Okay.
We are brothers in spirit, at least.
That's a very complex your mom joke in the waiting.
As long as we're all nice to each other.
There's a quiet woof from brother at all of this brother talk.
He's
And don't
confused.
forget our truest brother, and I will pat him.
He attempts to lick your hand, but seemingly doesn't put up much of a fight and just allows the patting. Though, as you say this, you'll notice the guard like take a strange look in all of your direction.
He is rightfully confused.
That's right.
Don't worry about us. We're brothers, apparently.
Why are you never?
I didn't think so either.
Well, brothers, shall we settle in for a bit of respite?
Yeah, I guess so.
The guard takes a step forward, not necessarily to bar your way, but at least to get your attention. And he says, "You're going to wander into the Evernear Tavern with a dog, a bird, whatever that is, and a frog?"
Do I
I'm the
recognize this man?
He's one of the, you've seen him around. He's one of the guards. He seems to station himself at a few different places, so far as you can tell. So he's not exclusively in service to the Evernear Tavern. He might be more of like a city watch type person.
Do I remember his name by chance?
Well, why don't you give me a
History check?
history check? See if you can pull it. Ooh.
Oh,
Unfortunately, his name escapes you.
brother, I swear I've seen you before, but I'm afraid your name escapes the tip of my tongue. You should know that today is a day of celebration. We have cleared out the bandits that have been harrying the people of the roads. Sesten will be a safer place, not only thanks to me, but thanks to brother, this bird, as you call him, and this frog.
You imagine his eyes are furrowing underneath his his visor as he takes a moment to respond to you, Benson. And he points a gauntleted finger, a plated finger, towards Fizz and says, "And what of that one?" Or at least you imagine that's what he was going to say, because it's suddenly cut short amid his sentence. And his finger begins to waver a bit before his arm falls to his side.
Are you okay, guard?
Oh, is there something wrong with this guy?
Check the chat.
Oh, shit.
You should
Well, no one else
describe
heard
that
it, so-
voice, Shoulder, or what is what
It's
kind of
just- it's a-
voice?
It's gonna be so. It's gonna be. I am no ordinary frog. I will eat you, and then a rivet.
Got it. Well, your message seems to have had an effect, and the guard then you notice the guard reaching deliberately with the same hand that he had gestured towards Fizz with. He reaches into a pack, like a pouch on one of his, like around his belt area, right? And a disquieted voice emerges from his visor as he says, "There are foul magics afoot here."
Well, the frog is magic.
Believing that the guard is talking about Fizz, Benson will raise his hands and he will say, "Fear not, brother, he is harmless. We encountered him on the way back from our mission. I believe he will make a fine addition to our party."
If he's harmless, as you say, Paladin, whence cometh his threat to eat me?
I wouldn't eat you.
Not you. The frog. It spoke to me.
Oh, that makes more sense. You can eat,
Shoulder's
big
Shoulder's
things.
gonna interject, and he's gonna say, "No, now, Fred would never eat you." And then he's gonna like hold him out.
Bringing a hand to his chin, Benson will look at the frog and then look back to the guard and say, "I hardly believe you would fit in his mouth, brother."
I got 2 3s.
Assistance because Benson is reasoning on your behalf.
Is this true?
Paladin, we have seen strange works here. You would be surprised what the animals in this region can do.
This man has really been out of the fucking loop. He has not read our report.
No, he's not the guard captain.
Well, that's a random guard, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you from experience, brother, he is no axbeak.
Speak. Regardless of whether he can eat me or not, the threat was made, and it was done so magically. I must report this, and I must disbar your entrance.
Oh,
You
My God,
would.
Okay. Do we notice these people talking with the open door?
You're pretty far. You should roll perception. If you're
Drunken
actively,
perception.
yeah, if you're actively trying to see what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Jason's
Like if
Perception with
it's like the
disadvantage.
time has gone for too long that you're starting to look for where the rest of them are. I don't know if you would think that though. Would you think
Perception with disadvantage because he's drunk.
he's tipsy?
Probably.
I think Jason's probably used to it, so he doesn't need
Yeah,
disadvantage
Jason, it
yet.
might be okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mention
Jason
IDs
is-
are disadvantage.
Oh, my is nat 1, so
Yeah, he doesn't even need disadvantage. It's too late.
What, am I disadvantaged?
Well, no,
I
that
think
was
Fred
about
said you shouldn't be.
Mitridates because
Yeah.
he rolled a 15 on one and a 1 on the other, so it wasn't great. But I will keep that perception check in mind while this next bit of dialogue happens. So Benson was about to say something, I believe.
Perhaps you are a bit tipsy, brother. Surely you would not bar the entrance of local folk heroes just because of some amphibian.
What kind of folk hero goes around ribbiting its way into a guard's mind?
I didn't even know he could do that.
Benson will look at brother. Did you hear anything?
There, he did it again. The guard removes his hand from the pouch, and you see that he is holding 2 pearly white stones as he gestures towards Fred the frog.
Shoulder, my brother. I know not what your frog is up to, but he seems to be agitating our friend here.
yes. Let me convene. He'll make it a point to turn his back to the guard and talk to the frog.
Okay. What do you say to Fred?
He's not saying anything. He's just whispering very intently, trying to make it sound like there's words being made.
Is like still on shoulders back, but he's like turned around looking at the guard like very like concerned, like this is not where I want to be right now.
Right.
And then so after like, not too long, like probably like 30 seconds, he'll make it a point to turn back very, very abruptly, and he'll look to the guard and he says, he's sorry. He's just a little hungry. And then he'll turn to Fred and he'll say sorry. See?
The guard sputters and says, sorry for being a little hungry. You don't threaten people with acts of cannibalism, or whatever it would be in this case.
It's not cannibalism if he's a frog, right?
I doubt a frog would be able to cast magic.
You would be surprised.
Just say, talk to the captain. We just want to get drunk.
Just
this.
Yeah, we entertain ourselves in other ways. Keep drinking, buddy.
Jason, your second flask, your second mug of ale has arrived, and we'll say maybe you've had enough time to at least polish off like half of it, if not down the whole thing.
Okay.
Which one are you taking? Are you gonna be drinking this one a bit slower since the first one hit you hard, or how are you doing it?
I'll say that Jason will take the time to look around the bar because that's what he usually does. But he was in a surprisingly pleasant mood when he first came here and saw that Mithridates was drinking.
Oh, okay. Well, we can definitely make use of your perception check here, and we can confirm for sure that one of the first things you notice is the friendly faces of Bree and Carol. They seem to be in a interlocution, talking quite intently about something that is out of your earshot, no matter how hard you may attempt to listen. Then, as you depending on how long you linger there, you'll notice that there are a few other patrons enjoying meals and beverages, and there's generally the atmosphere of talking. But there's a more like exclamatory sort of display coming from outside the tavern. You'll even notice one, patron of the tavern sort of set his utensils down and look with a raised eyebrow towards the entrance.
And Jason looks towards the entrance. Do I see Benson?
Yeah, I say from here you can see Benson and Brother, who perhaps both look a bit concerned, although it's hard to make out from this distance.
All right, Jason will put some whatever is the cost of his meal on the table there and say, just in case, but I do plan to be back. I became the wrath for some reason. He doesn't say that last part.
Yeah.
I love it. And then he taps Mithridates on the shoulder and says, "Might be trouble, laddie. I'm gonna go check it out." And then he'll stride on over, mug still in hand.
Does Mithridates also stride on over, mugs still in hand? Was Mithridates drinking the second mug at all?
No, he didn't touch the second mug.
Okay, got it.
He knows
As you walk up, you'll hear Benson saying to the guard, perhaps we could assuage your worries if we were to bribe you with a bit of good food. How about it? A stew on the frog.
Depends. Is he jumping in the pot?
As Jason comes to the door is open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as Jason comes to the door, Shoulders just going to just point and be like, Squid Man.
Jason will step forward and say, "Captain, something the trouble? Something is a bit. Captain, is there trouble?"
Jason, Mithridates. It's good to see you both. It seems our guard friend here is a bit disturbed by the presence of Shoto's frog. Not quite sure what's going on, but he is barring our path.
Do I know this guard?
You actually
This
don't
guard know me?
recognize this guard. He's well armed and armored. Perhaps he's a more recent convert, but for such a, for a guard with that level of gear, you would reckon he would have been here already for some time.
Jason will look to the guard and say, "How the bloody hell does a big man like you start jumping at the side? Why the hell does a big man like you start jumping in the shadow of a frog? You drunk?"
He gestures towards you almost accusatory and says, "If the frog spoke to you in your mind, you would react similarly." What the? No, hold on. Back up.
Dude, I had a distraction because I yelled Squid Man. This seems based.
You also have a kobold hanging on your back.
And you're walking past him as he's looking at Jason.
I didn't say it would do that much.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a moment. Just hold right there.
He has to roll disadvantage.
I'll be
They
right
both
here.
have to.
They can't. You can. There's
No,
certain
I'm
things
not
that
rolling
you-
a stealth check. Fizz isn't like he's just on the back.
Yeah.
No, this is the equivalent of someone like whistling as they walk by.
Yeah. Exactly. There's no salvation there.
Yeah.
So you heard the guard accuse Fred the Frog of speaking to him in his head, Jason.
Jason will say, "That's all. When I first came to this establishment, I had a bird talk in my head. They didn't arrest him then. Bloody hell would have saved me some trouble."
The bird talks in people's heads too. Hey, bird! He sees as he sees Shoulder attempting to sneak into the establishment. The hand
Hey,
will
you never
reach to a sword on his hilts or on his belt, right on his hip, and he says, "You stop right there."
Okay.
Looking the shoulder and then looking to the guard, he says, "He's an annoying prick who never stops talking. But I'll tell you this, he's not a fucking problem. Put a few beers in him, and he won't fucking bother you."
And what of his murderous frog?
A frog doesn't talk. The bird was probably just playing a trick.
You would trick the guard? Fizz looks at shoulder.
That's not metagaming because Jason knows that Shoulder casts message and does stupid shit.
I would never trick the guard.
Are you
I have
sure?
to roll a counter one. Is persuasion versus deception right now?
It's insight versus
Insight.
deception. Yeah.
Oh, it's the guard's insight. Or is
Oh.
it? Am I rolling it?
Well, whoever
He's not
doesn't
lying to
believe
me.
it.
Yeah, it's anybody who
I'm-
doesn't believe
I'm
you.
speaking a lie in general. If you do not
You
believe
should have
me
a
inherently.
bonus because Jason is telling on him.
Well,
Bang.
Oh shit.
I can see the guilt on his feathered face. You think it's some kind of prank, walking up to a guard, especially as the smells of lunch are flowing through the air, and to threaten him with being eaten.
Okay, I mean, by a frog.
You'll see the man, sort of, his hand will disappear back into the pouch that he produced those 2 stones from earlier. And as he sort of, you hear them kind of like clinking against each other gently, he'll say, "Don't walk into others' minds without invitation. You've been given a warning."
You know, it's not the first time I've heard that.
You'll hear a sigh from the guard as he steps back from his more forward position and says, then gestures towards Benson and says, "And the hound. He will not be welcome in that establishment so long as you attempt to enjoy yourself on the ground floor. I suggest finding a room for him."
Brother is a war hero. He has felled many a spellcaster, bandit, and axe-beak, foul creatures which threatened our fine people who travel the roads out of Sestan. You would dare disrespect him?
I've heard the rumors of these exploits. But until they are confirmed by the town herald, I'm afraid I cannot make exceptions. I
So,
simply wish to avoid trouble. Further trouble, that is.
Perhaps you can make an exception for this, brother. And Benson will procure one of the copies of the mission report and hand it to the guard.
Here's classified information.
The guard sort of looks over some of the details here and says, "Why, this is so dense it would take me some time to confirm the authenticity of such a report. But, Benson, you can roll persuasion if you would like to attempt something a little bit more."
I'd like to assist that persuasion by Jason opening up his coat thing and showing all the daggers of Ibinar along with all the other weapons he has on his person with the mark of Ibinar's arms.
What do you say? Does that count as assistance?
Yeah, well, at this point, I think he's like looking over the information. Then he looks, kind of like darts between like the paper in his hand and the bag full of daggers and back and forth and back and forth. And eventually he's like, with another sigh, a defeated sounding sigh, he'll say, "Fine. But if I hear that you've started trouble, I won't be able to save any one of you."
Fair enough,
Jason will
brother.
say,
Go ahead.
Jason will say, "Don't worry. We don't need any saving. That report should make that clear enough." And then he'll flick him a gold.
Oh. He catches it almost by reflex, and then frowns behind his visor and says, "At least you made it worth my while."
Anything to get back to drinking? And then Jason takes a swig.
Oh, I thought you still had the ale with you. You're drinking your
Oh,
own
he,
stuff.
he drinks the ale too, and then he takes a swig.
Ah.
That's
Advanced
my
drink.
2 free uses. Everything is rolled after that.
Well, Benson, are you satisfied with the guard's sigh of defeat?
If you don't mind, brother, I would take the report back so that I can present it where it is needed.
He'll, almost glaring at you behind his visor, proffer the report with an open hand.
Benson will take it and tuck it back into his inventory, and he will say, "We appreciate your service, brother. We will do our best not to cause you any trouble."
Yes, please do. I've already had my hands full throwing louts out of here this morning.
Hopefully we will not be among them.
Aye.
As Benson walks by, Jason will whisper in his ear and says, I expect that gold to come out of the fucking Berkshire since he caused the problem. You hear me?
The distant laddie was fucking great.
That's how he gets his accent back, yeah.
Does
Don't-
Benson have a response? Or?
Yeah, don't worry, Jason. I have a plan to get him off of our backs.
Well,
Okay.
you're leading brother through, and for a moment, all of the eyes in the tavern are on Shoulder and his totemic display of animals. However, Shoulder is busy scanning the room, and the first thing that will immediately catch his eye is the familiar faces of Carol and Bree, who are currently what looks like polishing off their platter of food and their ale. Though they haven't made any moves to get up yet, Carol, at the very least, has set his eyes upon the party as they enter. And he's got a face that looks almost like, oh, brother, but not the Benson kind of brother.
Jason goes back to his food.
Does Benson see them as he walks in?
Yeah, it's pretty clear as day. They're like recognizable. The only ones that bear the mark of, the Paladin's order, right? So.
Benson will light up as he sees them both. He'll give them a friendly wave, but he'll go towards the bar first.
Okay. Shoulder, what are you doing after noticing not only that, but also the short, like just the fact that like you could immediately tell which seats were Mithridates and Jason based on the mugs and food that had been left unattended?
Shoulder's gonna ask. He's gonna point at Bree and Carol, and he's gonna be like, "Friends," and then he's gonna ask Fizz what he wants to do.
Oh, you want to know what I want to do? Haven't you been to this tavern before? What do you do here?
Turn into an orc and get chased.
True. He'll say, "Well, over there," and he'll gesture to the commoner, or to the not the commoner,
Barkeep?
the bar, the barkeep, and he'll say, "That's where people drink and get mad at me for messaging them." And then you can also buy food. And then over there, and I'll point to Bree and Carol, are two people we fought with. Maybe we say hi.
I think we should say hi. I can't drink very much.
It's hard to drink with a beak.
It's also hard to drink when you're tiny.
As the
He's
two
gonna
of
run
you,
over.
Like mushroom brew.
the two of you approach Carol and Bree, and they begin to stand up, not quite in unison. And Carol just, you hear like an audible sigh, but Bree seems at least mildly amused by your display, Shoulder, and says, "Hello, Shoulder. It's been a while. Well, at least a short one. I see you've found some friends other than the ones we remember."
Hello, this is Tiny Dragon. And this
I'm
is Fred.
Fizz. And that's Fred.
Carol's brow is very furrowed right now, and he seems to be moving as if to just leave. But Bree sort of like nods towards Fizz and then nods towards Fred and says, "Does Fred talk, or is that only Tiny Dragon?"
Shoulder is going to feign thinking, which is different than what he usually does for sure. And he'll say, when I cast magic and that guard outside thought he talked for a while, he does do this one weird thing with food. He is very hungry.
Oh, show them. Show them how Fred eat food.
Bree looks over towards some unfinished bites of her sandwich and sort of like picks up her plate and kind of offers it towards you and says, but like she's got this like look of like as if this is all a lark, right? And she's like, I didn't finish mine, so perhaps Fred would like it.
You could feed Fred.
Fred is going to eat the whole ass plate.
Bree looks a little bit confused and says, "Really? Fred eats human food?"
We're kind of testing it out. He ate a pie earlier. Just, I don't know, hold it up to him.
A frog that eats a pie. She looks over towards Carol as she proffers the plate and says, "Now I've seen everything." When she looks back, the plate will be gone.
See? He's very hungry.
She'll like be still holding her hand out, and then she'll like her eyes would have snapped back to it when Fred ate the whole plate, and she'll like be moving her hand around in the air, like, "Did you turn it invisible? What kind of trick is this?"
No, Fred eats anything.
Is there anything nearby that I can grab?
There's like a half-finished ale mug you could probably grab. Seems to have been Bree's.
Ooh. Bree, Fizz. Do you think he drinks ale? And then he'll point at the ale mug.
He's very small for drinking ale.
At this point, Bree like just kind of steps back, and she's like very confused and perhaps a tiny bit unsettled. And she says, "You're not joking, are you? You're really going to feed Fred ale?"
I want to try it. And as he says this, he's going to put Fred on the table.
Okay. Nope, I didn't mean to roll that for Bree, but that's okay. All right, that means I have to... Oh, no. How do I even... Oh, I guess there you go. So, Fred is going to be put onto the table, and the table is going to creak very loudly. but it doesn't
What the fuck is
crack.
Fred?
It just creaks. And Fred then hops, another very loud creak, over and looks towards you, Shoulder, and says,
Alright, we're sleeping. I'm casting it.
What?
Oh, I know what he's doing.
With a strum of his guitar, he's gonna say, "Hi, Fred."
There's this strange, almost melancholic sound that resonates throughout the tavern and catches the ears of people near and far. And perhaps this will be an alert to the rest of the party that there's some shoulder magic afoot. As the lute is strummed, and you hear Fred again. To you, Shoulder, his strange voice will appear, like will sort of like resonate to your ears, and he'll say, "Hi, Shoulder. I'm hungry."
What? You just ate a whole ass plate.
He's gonna turn to Bree and Carol, and he's gonna then turn back to Fred. He's gonna say, "He said he's hungry. Fred, what would you like to eat?"
Hold on. I have to make some room. Then Fred turns to the sort of left, and his tongue his mouth like opens up impossibly wide again. His tongue falls out of his mouth, and at the tip of his tongue, almost like wrapped around by his tongue, is the large piece of pie that he had earlier.
Look, it's the pie.
It seems to have been partially digested or something, but it is still recognizably fruit pie. And he sort of just leaves it on the tablecloth.
That's gross.
And then he says, "Oh, I want that again." Another sort of impossibly wide opening. His tongue, out of his tongue flies the plate that had just been eaten. Although you'll note that the food is not on the plate, food remnants. He plops that on the opposite side, and then he kind of almost gurgles and says, "That's why." And he hops to the other side of the table. You hear what sounds like the buckling of one of the legs, but the table
The
still
sport
seems to
table.
hold. And as he lands, he goes, and out another object emerges. Wait for it. Stand by.
It's a dragon egg. No.
Eternity, you know.
How did you get here?
it's dark.
It's a silver dragon.
That would be really funny if that's how we got. I like added Alexander into the.
Just came out of
joins the call.
Yeah. I thought I
He
had
would be
this.
very not happy.
I'm kind of scared.
I assume he ate something he shouldn't have. Like the plate. But bigger.
It's just like a treasure chest.
Oh, that's treasure.
Well, so what emerges from Fred is it's a whole like entire human skeleton.
Holy
Okay.
shit.
Jason comes over.
He actually does eat?
Jason has his sword drawn.
Shoulder. No. You're not here yet. You're not here yet. You're on your
he's
way.
not
Now
here.
I
But on the way,
understand why the guard was afraid.
Shoulder is seeing this. Shoulder is going to try and like jump like on or over the table and like pick up Fred in the process.
Okay.
And like just try and make it look like his frog did not just vomit up a human skeleton.
I assume Fizz ends up landing on the ground hard as he flies off of you.
No, you wouldn't like. I guess it'd be
He's
an acrobatics
leaping.
roll.
You need an acrobatics roll.
Yeah. And if I
So-
fail, I fly off.
Oh, I actually rolled a nat 3. That's hilarious.
That is pretty hilarious. Well, Fizz, you're barely hanging on with one hand as Shoulder leaps over and attempts to grab Fred. Let's see. There you go. And
yeah, so fuck.
Shoulder, you're not the most graceful in doing it, but you do indeed scoop him up, and then and then the table buckles and you fall to the ground on your rump. Carol and Bree both step back in horror of just the like they didn't actually see the skeleton with like for very long. So they're not even sure if that's what they saw, but the immediate darting movement of Shoulder and then the buckling of the table, spilling some splintered wood everywhere, is certainly enough. And now you've started to draw a bit of a crowd.
And the skeleton didn't come out?
No, it did, but they
So-
didn't see it in the
okay.
you moved too fast.
Yeah.
Did Jason see the skeleton when it came in?
Shoulder, while he hits the ground, is going to whisper to Fred. He's going to be like, I didn't know you actually ate humans.
I told you that guy died.
I thought it was because you peed on him.
It was, but I wasn't gonna go and let him go to waste.
I assume Fizz hears the at least Shoulder's
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Fizz is probably very confused.
This is now very much rethinking his friendship with Big Bird.
Yeah, literally all he did was, I didn't know you actually ate people. I thought that was because you peed on him.
Why did he actually eat the guy? Holy shit. Oh my god. Is there some kind of check I can roll? Obviously, like Jason will probably have a point to make before I could actually talk, but is there a check I can roll to realize that Fizz did not actually understand anything? Like that sounds horrible.
Let's see. Let's keep that in mind, of course. But is Shoulder going to be using illusion magic to do anything to the scene that's just occurred? Like, because there's people coming, including Jason, who's apparently got his sword drawn.
Well, I thought I saw the skeleton. Did I see the skeleton come out of the frog?
You weren't. I don't think you were looking over there. You were probably socializing,
Oh.
and so I don't even know how you found to begin
at
with.
the sound of a table.
He would just know that the table, exploded and
Oh,
Shoulder
I
jumped.
turned
Okay.
around.
Is the skeleton
Because
still there?
before the skeleton thing, so Jason was sort of watching.
I think it would have
And
been
they were
vomited up
watching
like
it.
mostly off out of view from anybody, including like that's why Carol
Okay.
and Bree haven't even
So-
said anything, right?
Wait, so where is the
Commotion
skeleton?
then.
It's like,
It's like right 5 feet below you, yeah, basically.
all right.
It's like
a
a mic
commotion.
head
Appeared by
looking
the
at you.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a Shoulder like scrambling is going to try and quickly like cast invisibility as like he's on the ground. So
For
So
what are you casting it?
onto the skeleton.
Oh, okay.
As Jason got up, I'd say that he would poke Benson and say something along the lines of, "The bard is stirring shit again." And then he'd get up, head over, and then pray to Umberly for patience and a tongue to get them the hell out of this situation. So in which case it would be, which would I want? I guess it would be Eagle Splendor. So whatever the fish equivalent of that. So I have advantage on all charisma checks for an hour.
Osprey Splendor.
Okay.
Unfortunately for you, Benson is oblivious because he's still waiting for the bartender to notice him.
Oh, well, we'll say that the bartender did notice you. We got a bit caught up in that silliness. So before all of that happens, you order a beverage. He gives you a nod and like a warm smile and says, "Rare to see a paladin in these parts. What can I get for you?"
Today is a day of celebration, brother, and I've noticed that a few of my fellows are here among us. So, this will be a bit of a large order, but bear with me. I'd like to have a round of mead, one for myself, 2 for the paladins over yonder, 1 for the guard out front, and then for myself, a bit of bread and stew, the same for the guard out front, and then a little bit of salted meat for my brother here, and he will pat brother.
As you do so, brother will sort of like paw at the seat next to you and look up at you expectantly. But the barkeep will simply say, "The guard let you in with that. Well, I've learned to trust his judgment, but just don't let it get in any trouble. I'll fetch your mead, and the stew will be here shortly."
Don't worry,
No.
you just have to worry about the frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Fear not, brother. This hound here is a war hero who has served well for the people of Sestan.
The barkeep has a furrowed brow, but says, "I've heard stranger tales," and begins to go and fetch your requested drinks. And then maybe shortly thereafter, there would be an opportunity for you to probably say something else to either Brother Jason, Mithridates, or anybody else before Jason mentions that there's commotion or something.
The Bart is causing shit again?
Yeah.
How much would that have cost?
4 orders of mead, 2 orders of stew and salted meat. We can safely say that's north of a gold piece, maybe 1.5.
Okay. Benson will put 2 gold pieces on the counter, and then he will begin wandering over to the table where Bree and Carol were, anticipating that the bartender will just bring it all out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. In that case, you'll probably be over there before Jason is.
And Jason's words are the same way he said to Ben, but to Mithridates this time.
Yeah.
The Bart is starting shit again?
All right. So
I guess
Jason says,
when in that ordeal would you say that I arrived?
you would have seen Shoulder suddenly. You would have seen like Fred the Frog be on the table, and apparently just like be pouring out like there's like a half-eaten large piece of pie. There's a plate, and then something else that's out of your view. It happens to be in the process of vomiting out, but Shoulder immediately leaps across the table and. In doing so, lands on that part of the table, and it seems to buckle as he slides off, and then sort of like has a scramble. There's the clattering of many. There's many clattering sounds as it happens, but that seems to just attract the attention of the other patrons. Though there hasn't yet been a roar from the bartender. So,
Well, brother, it seems you have not waited in your attempts at revelry. And you, too, Bree and Carol. I am pleased to say that I have ordered a round for us all. We are victorious, our mission complete, and we shall be remembered for it. So let us celebrate.
Carol takes one step closer towards the intact half of the table and gestures almost like not really accusatorily but angrily at it, at the broken half and says, "Revelry, that frog is cursed or something."
I assure you, brother, that frog is quaint compared to the horrors we have faced.
If only he knew.
Bree seems, like takes a moment and then steps back forward and says, "It's wonderful to see you, Benson, but I have a feeling that Shoulder's new companions are perhaps not cut out for city life."
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Shoulder in an utmost selfless moment, and unlike him, he's going to say, "Yeah, don't bring Tiny Dragon into this."
And now I think at this point, Shoulder would realize that is out of context. I thought it was because you peed on that guy. Would
Yeah.
not have made any sense if Fizz.
He's gonna look up, and he's gonna message Fizz, and he's gonna say, "Oh, long story short, Fred met some guy, accidentally peed on him, and then he died, and then I guess he ate him, which I did not know."
Fizz is gonna look at him really confused. Because and then he's gonna respond. Wait, he kills people by peeing on them?
Well, that's
Out
out
loud.
loud, so.
Right, does Jason arrive?
Yes, Jason will be here in time to hear that.
Jason will stride over, fucking very angrily, and say, "What the devils are you doing now, you damn curse?"
Fred was too heavy for the table.
He's fucking 3 inches. The fuck you mean? He's too heavy for the table.
He's gonna look at him like he's an idiot.
Is the skeleton invisible or not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's invisible.
it was
And
turned
it-
invisible, so.
He's gonna look at him like he's an idiot, and he's gonna say, "Do you want to see?" And then he's gonna place Fred on the chair.
There's almost like to everybody else it'll sound like a ribbit of confusion, but Shoulder, you'll hear, "I'm not that heavy anymore," and the chair does not collapse.
Jason looks at Shoulder like he's a retard and says, "Was that supposed to do something?"
You see, he had a
Hey,
lot
what
of
you
food.
fucking goober?
He had a lot of food in his stomach, and then he vomited it up, and now he's not that heavy, and he'll pick him back up.
As you go to pick him back up, it seems like Fred is interested in something else and begins to attempt to hop off the chair. Do you attempt to catch him, or are you going to let him hop?
I'm going to attempt to catch him.
All right, give me a dexterity or like a.
I was going to say sleight of hand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nat 1.
Oh shit! He slips out of your grasp, turns around to face the chair, and says, "But I can be heavy."
Oh, no.
You will all see Fred the Frog, his mouth open unbelievably wide, and he engulfs the chair, swallowing it in one go. A chair meant to be the size of a human, mind you.
Shoulder is going to scramble to pick him up.
Okay. He doesn't protest.
Yeah, as part of his nat 1, so it'll look like really awkward and scrambly.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, that was kind of awesome.
So, Jason would like to make an internal religion check to see what god could empower a frog to do this. What sort of god?
While you do this, Benson will just say, That was disturbing, brother. You should really feed your frog more.
Of course,
Shoulder hearing this and feeling like hurt because he feeds all of his animals. He's gonna point at Bree and he's gonna say, Bree saw he ate a whole plate of food.
Well, just the plate. There were some crumbs and crusts of a bread.
He did vomit up a pie.
But a pie is not nutritious, especially
Fred-
for a frog.
Forget the damn frog's nutrition, Captain. This thing can't be out around here. He says that last part in sort of like a lowered tone. It'll cause a panic. Rent a room and shove these idiots up there. Before he causes more of a scene. Also,
Jason,
I'd like an internal religion check.
You attempt to think about any religion, any deity, any source of religious power that could impact such a creature, impart such a creature's ability to extend their mouth and gullet. But despite your considerable knowledge of the religious, nothing immediately seems to come to mind. Either this is the work of a god or deity not known to you, or this is not a religious creation at all. But it certainly
Shoulder,
doesn't seem natural.
Shoulder hearing that him and Fred and possibly Fizz by association are going to be shoved into a room is going to say, well, I miss Kyle. Maybe it's best if we just sleep with him. Me and Fred. Fizz did nothing wrong.
Rent a room and fucking stay up there.
That will never work.
Yeah.
Jason, you think you can contain Fred in a room?
Well, brother, perhaps it would save him a bit of coin if Kyle could weave them a bed.
Oh wait, he said take them to. I didn't even
Yeah.
notice that part. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Forget what I said. He says, yeah, he would actually agree with that. He'd say, take him there and fucking stay there.
I feel like if you put Fred in a room, he's just gonna eat the room.
Yeah. Never mind. Shoulder volunteering, like get the fuck out. Jason would be like, hell yeah.
Now the question is, will Fizz? I'm assuming he'll put two and two together and think like, okay, do I stay with Birdlord or do I stay with the rest of the group? So what is Fizz thinking?
Yeah.
Especially since he was reconsidering his choice of friendship after the frog vomited with the skeleton and talked about.
Are you going to leave me alone with the black goat of the woods?
Bird, do you want me to go with you, or do you want me to stay?
Shoulder's going to look at him and he's going to say, well, Fizz, maybe you just do what you want. I like your company, but I will not decline you a nice bed with food.
Okay, well, can you promise me that Fred won't eat me?
Shoulder is going to look at Fred and wait for a response because he still speaks with animals.
Fred belches.
Shoulder will then look to Fizz and he'll say, Fred might be full. I don't think he's ever going to eat you. I feel like if he was going to eat anyone, he would have eaten me long ago.
What in the devil's has happened to my table? The barkeep is holding a tray full of, mead glasses and stews.
Jason will whirl around and say, I'm afraid our friend here's a little drunk. My apologies. And he will put 3 gold coins in the man's pocket.
You can see the man attempting to collect himself, and then he'll turn to Benson and he'll say, "Well, if you would like to find a more intact place to patronize my establishment," and he begins to set down the drinks and food at the table closest to him.
Shoulder's gonna say, Fred's not drunk.
Jason would like to make an intimidation check on Shoulder as he just says, "Fucking beat it."
I don't know if that would
I
do
have
anything.
advantage on that because that's because it's charisma.
Is it advantage or is it just a plus? I didn't actually read the.
No, it's advantage.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I'll roll the charisma saving throw. I just don't think, like, of all the things to roll advantage on and get a 16 on is, like, this is what you chose? Like, I'm leaving anyway.
Yeah, but Jason's pissed at you.
All right, well, have fun when the fucking corpse becomes non-invisible and you guys have to explain it.
Yeah, that's exactly why it was like, you know what? If Fred wasn't gonna eat me, I'm out of here.
Good luck.
All right, well, as you make your hasty retreat from the table, do you say anything to any of the other homies?
He'll like stop walking by and he'll say, "We will be with Kyle and Fistjaw," and then as brother gets closer, he'll say, "Oh, good dog."
Thanks.
As the bartender is dropping off the things, Benson will say to him, "After we've had a bit of time to eat and converse," and then he will flash his woodworker's tools. "I'll see if I can fix up that table for you."
Well, certainly would be appreciated. Though I think the lunch rush is over for now.
Oh, I've been detached.
You have been?
Hook me back on.
Hold on, I'm first.
I cannot move.
Yeah, you're good. I don't know what the So I don't know how invisibility works when, like, if I touch, because it says range touch, but I don't have.
That's
like,
only for casting it, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how it's just concentration until I.
Yeah, I think there's probably some sanity check of, like, if you're super far away, or maybe if you forget, then it'll expire sooner, but.
All right. Well, you let me know how far we get before that sanity check happens, and I'll let you know what I try to do with that.
Okay. You still have Fred on your shoulder or whatever, but you I don't have him on you right now in the main map. But anyway,
He's in there. He's just underneath.
No, he's in there. He's just underneath the Fizz.
Oh, okay, got it.
Also, I'm detached again.
How did you do that?
They're totally gonna get approached by Satan again.
Good. This is your fault.
It's not my fault. You brought the frog and then didn't contain it.
I'm gonna have the frog eat Fistjaw.
And then you hit the body, so Jason doesn't even have the context that this thing is super powerful. Like, you saw the thing eaten, but it's like, you found a retard. Like, it's not any more dangerous than the spider, right?
All right, I'm just gonna stop moving.
But if
can you
if
box
there was,
select
like, a corpse that I could see
and then move? I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll randomly happen as I'm moving.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine now. I have box selected this time, so hopefully it's.
Yeah, that's what I have to do to move you. So
Okay,
maybe there's
that's
some connection. So we'll say that pretty soon you'll arrive. All right, so
fucking hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. You guys could have just said we go to the tavern and order drinks and
Yeah, but that's not fun.
Instead, we're arguing with the fucking guard.
Yep.
As they do that, I'm gonna say that unless Fizz wants to do anything with Shoulder, that will be discussed later. Shoulder is just going to start getting ready for bed with Kyle. mostly because I have to BRP.
Yeah. Well, that's okay because I also have to BRP pretty soon. But we can sit. We can get everybody sat down.
Yeah, let's get to downtime, I would imagine.
What were you about to, Benson?
Well, I also have to do that, but also, did this guy bring everything that was ordered?
Yep, he's got. Well, he did bring the extra mead for the guard as well as the stew, but he is keeping that on his like platter so that he can bring it out to the guy or what have you. Other than that, though, yeah, the 3 meads for you and your paladin compatriots, the salted meat for your dog, and the stew
Perfect.
for you.
So as soon as he sets down the salted meat for the dog, Benson is going to take the plate, set it on the tray where a person would normally sit, and then he's going to pick up Brother and set him in the chair.
Brother, perhaps surprisingly to anybody who would be looking, obediently sits down and places one paw on the table, sniffing aggressively the food.
You have served us well, brother. Enjoy this meal and this respite.
The barkeep moves to set the rest of the table, and that at this, Bree sort of looks like she walks up, she pets Brother, she looks at the rest of you, and she says, "I know it's odd timing, Benson, but Harold and I were just about to make our way back to the temple. Was there anything you needed of us before we make our return?"
I understand if you must go, brother and sister, but won't you at least join me for a few sips of this mead and take a look at the full report that we have written? And Benson will procure the report and set it down in the center of the table next to their mugs.
Bree purses her lips and then looks towards Harold, who kind of gives a sort of haggard nod, and then they both go to fetch a chair that is intact from one of the nearby tables, and they bring it over.
As they return, Benson will say, "Fear not, I won't keep you too long. I think it's only fair that, as the two of you have bravely joined us in our mission and fought alongside us well against the forces of evil, you ought to know the story of our success, that of which you are also responsible."
Until when it mattered, Jason says bitterly, and then he picks up the cup of ale that's his and says, "Sorry, Captain." And then he also looks to Bree and says, "Honeywind." But I don't make it a habit to drink with yellow bellies and cowards who can't see something through. And then he'll just walk away, unless they
Don't-
stop him.
As you walk away, Benson will call out and he'll just say, "Don't be so sour, brother. They did fight along our side against scores of men. They may not have stayed until the end, but should we not have made it, at least someone would have told the story of our heroic deeds."
Jason, let's see. Jason pauses for a moment and then just walks away. He gives Carol a dirty look as he walks past.
Harold is meeting your gaze. His expression is not as fury-filled as you might have thought. Instead, he's got this sort of strange expression, as if he's almost as if he's seeing you for the first time. He's very confused, and you get the sense as you focus your insights on him that he's just not quite in the loop of what you mean. He's almost not even necessarily offended at the accusations or the characterization. He's just perplexed at your remark. And then he'll turn to Benson and say, "What's his problem?"
Fear not, brother. He is merely easily offended.
Got him.
Bree will chuckle and say, "Well, he has at least bathed since last I smelled him."
Holy God.
Bathed in ale, perhaps.
It's not like, we just fought through like a whole, dream realm and killed a major wizard when they abandoned us at the last moment and had that big fight with the big dude that nearly saw a bunch of us severely wounded.
Well, as soon as the demon came out, they were like,
Yeah, I understand out of character, but in character, Jason's like, these guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. No wonder their god didn't level them up.
Well, nonetheless, Carol will be looking over the report while Bree sips at the mead appreciatively. What is Mithridates doing after seeing all of those things?
He's drunk. He doesn't seem.
He's just, that's it.
One was all it took.
Did he have the other?
He might have had the other when nobody was looking.
A natural one is a natural one.
That's true. That is true. All right, Mithridates, you're really feeling it now. You, despite the lot of negative energy outburst there from Jason, the rest of the tavern feels very positive to you. You get this general like buzzing sense of everyone having a good time, enjoying good food in good company. It's perhaps the most like the most radiant that you've felt in a while, the washing over you these emotions of positivity.
Just like old time.
Exactly. As there's a dog near you eating at a table. Well, as Benson is sharing his reports with Carol and Bree, and Mithridates is well, Bree will offer Mithridates a sip of mead and say, "It's really good. I wouldn't be able to finish it all myself."
He takes it and drinks it all.
Wow. And then she looks to the rest of the people at the table and says, "This one's got quite the drink in him."
And he didn't even save any for brother.
Brother is continuing to wolf down the salted meat and doesn't even respond to his name.
Food.
Yeah, exactly. Just a cacophony of the word food screamed at the top of his lungs over and over again as he horfs it down.
An eldritch cacophony of food echoing throughout all of eternity.
Also
Mighty
known
brother
as...
mighty brother god smiles in the realm of Astramus. Its many mouths opening.
It's just what happens with your that's just like the last thing you hear or experience when you're swallowed by Tony's gullet.
The last thing you hear when you roll your final death saving throw.
Food.
Death doesn't come as a reaper, he comes as a fucking dog.
Well, on that note, do you still have to BRP?
I sure do. So I think it's probably a good place to pause for now. Fizz and Shoulder can think about their downtime actions outside if they want to do anything in particular. And I guess the same can be true for Jason, who is apparently... oh, I forgot to move these guys out of here. Yeah, I think the same can be true for Jason, who's rented a room and is getting ready to relax a bit. And yeah, then we'll be able to progress to the next evening, although it looks like we'll have a little bit of dialogue to resolve with regards to what Benson is up to. So, PRB, feel free to discuss among yourselves what's going on.
Hell yeah, Balethal.
Fizz is very concerned about Fred and his existence.
Well, it would have. I think our downtime can it can be explained that Shoulder did fall asleep with Fred. So, you know.
I'm just thinking Fizz is gonna probably be interested in knowing what what Fred is.
Yeah, trying to experiment on Fred.
Yeah, because he's gonna be like, I actually think he will probably
That-
literally straight up say the words. I'm beginning to think Fred isn't a real frog.
Yeah, that can be the our downtime action is me casting Speak with Animals and just us just trying to see what Fred can do and can't do. With his consent, of course. We don't want to get eaten.
Well, yeah.
The last thing we need is to have him be Kyle-sized.
Oh god. Then he starts eating the big animals too.
Yeah, I would like it to be known that I'm gonna have it that as soon as he casts Speak with Animals, that corpse is that corpse is becoming visible.
The dog starts playing Katamari, or not the dog, the frog. He's playing Katamari by eating everything and becoming bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks because Fizz was looking forward to eating food with everyone.
No food for Fizz.
Well, we still have the pies, I assume. But yeah,
Yeah, you'll just be eating it with animals and not other people.
The
Yeah.
regurgitated frog pie.
No, we have actual pie, but yeah.
no, I think we left that on the table.
I never put it down. But I
Did
don't
you
know.
pick it up?
I don't think I ever put it down.
No. I mean, he's talking about the regurgitated.
Oh yeah. No, we definitely left that one too.
Yeah, because Fred coughed it up, and then
Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure no one picked it up. We just left it. I guess alternatively, Fizz could try to reach out to his ancestor that he gets visions from, or whatever. The dragon. I'll probably do that after messing around with Fred.
Oh yeah.
And trying to not get too close because he feels
Well,
like he's
that's why he's going to have. That's why. That's why we're gonna have Speak with Animals up so he can make sure that Fred is not getting angry.
Oh, stop poking him. He's getting mad.
Yeah. Exactly.
He said the exact words, "I will eat you."
And that is when we call it for a night.
Yeah. That's when we're like, okay, we're not touching Fred anymore.
Nope. Not touching Fred.
Fred can sleep now.
Sorry, Fred.
Yeah, I assume I'll probably make another Arcana roll and see what I learn. Probably not much. Because I assume Fred is like cursed by the demon goat.
It wasn't a religious problem. I rolled a 17.
Well, that you know of. Do you know of the demon goat?
I was told to kill her by Umberly.
Well, yeah, he was told to kill the black goat or slay the whore.
And I had pendants of people that I know to have worn that are of the black goat.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know some things about the black goat.
Yeah, I know somebody who worships black goats, not the friend of Umberly, and I need to kill them. And whore. So
I see.
that's what I know.
So maybe he's just a purely. Maybe he got irradiated by magic and he became a magic frog. Otherwise, I have no
I
idea.
was so close to having Jason speak with animals for the first time. He's had the ability for the whole game, but I haven't had an excuse because Jason doesn't know how to cast his own magic. He has to. He rationalizes it as prayers to Umberly, but it's just that he's a druid.
So he doesn't even need the dark god.
He didn't know he was a druid until, even though he turned into a squid several times, until Shoulder told him that the alligator called him a druid.
Ah.
And then he immediately rationalized that as well. Yeah, druids are a thing, but like Umberly is what made me a druid, obviously.
Yep. That's how druids work.
Yeah, totally.
It's not a warlock or anything that would be serving a dark god or anything.
Yeah.
Or a cleric.
He doesn't know what the fuck those are. He thinks wizard's toes are lucky charms because demons eat you through your toe, don't you know?
I'm pretty sure that's not true, but you know.
Yeah, he's a foreigner. This is what he believes. Actually, let me post the description real quick. I wrote it. Go here and call.
That devils suck out the soul from the big toe. What? Very silly.
Don't you know if you have a mage's toe, you can jump back into your corpse? That's how that works, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm pretty sure
All
that's
right,
exactly not how it
Oh,
works.
my dad told me that, okay? And he heard that from his priest, so get off my case.
Me and 3 have decided on our downtime action.
No.
Is it late in the day? Hmm. Yeah, Jason. Jason would do all the shopping that he did already, and I already have the stuff in my inventory. He'd clean the daggers drunkenly, and then he'd get very drunk. I'd say it. Yeah, he'd clean all the weapons, actually, all of them, everything he has, and he'd just be drinking while he's doing that until he's wasted and falls asleep doing it.
Indeed, brother. We have felled scores of men, and as far as we understand, they're top leaders and foul beasts. If this does not secure a time of peace for the roads outside of Sistan, then I do not know what will. That's good to hear, brother. I've also shared this report with our father, Elric, and he has invited me to speak on behalf of the situation tomorrow morning. I hope that you and Bree will be able to attend. It's nothing, brother. A small token of appreciation and celebration for the victory that we have earned. Do not mind him, brother. He does not understand that you and Bree's participation and Arkin's is a large part of our victory. If we did not have your support, surely we would have been foiled much earlier on in our pursuits. Indeed, brother. Arkin and I went to Father Elric ourselves to report the good news. Perhaps he is still there, taking garrison in the temple. If you do not see him there, then surely you'll see him tomorrow morning at the gathering. I owe you thanks as well, Mithridates. You have played a key role in our success, and I feel it would be wrong not to express that.
Mithridates just mumbles something, but you don't understand.
Is it an Elven?
Possibly.
You lowborn aren't so bad. You almost look like a person.
I know that all of this that we've gotten into was likely more than you bargained for when I offered for you to help guard the caravan, but I appreciate your assistance nonetheless. You are a brave elf and a brave man. We would not be here celebrating this moment without you.
He mumbles again, and all you hear is, "Thank you."
And what of you, brother? And he looks over. Benson will catch him floundering and all. Benson will accept brother's floundering affection and then watch Mithridates as he walks away.
So I think Fizz is gonna ask Shoulder, how did you meet Fred again?
Oh, well, that one's simple. I found him talking to other frogs around this. And he'll procure the grenade thing that he found.
Can I get a better description than grenade thing?
He doesn't know what it is, so it's a grenade thing. Oh, that's true. It doesn't.
Epic.
It is an unidentified bomb. It is a circle that is filled with like white coloring, and it says this bomb was found with a bunch of frogs.
Nice. You found him next to a bomb.
He didn't know what it was.
Right. Do you think the bomb is related to Fred's ability to eat people?
No. He was just happened to be by it.
Okay. I would like to figure out what is going on with Fred. I don't think it's normal for frogs to be able to eat a whole person.
You're probably right. I will cast my animal magic, and we will experiment with Fred. As long as he's okay with it, I don't want to be eaten.
I don't want to be eaten either.
with this, he'll use his last level 1 spell slot to cast Speak with Animals, and in doing so, his invisibility will drop.
They didn't see a corpse traveler.
No, okay.
All right, so he vomited the chair. All right, Shoulder will look to Fizzfizz and say, "Tiny dragon, my magic is on." And then he will turn to Fred and he'll say, "What is your favorite food?" Shoulder will look to Fizzfizz and say, He used to just eat flies like a regular frog. Now he laughs sinisterly and eats other things."
You mean like people?
"I guess so."
Well, he's a crocodile. Anyway,
Shoulder will turn to Fred and he'll say, "Do you know why you eat people?"
instructed.
Shoulder will turn to Fizzfizz and say, "Fizzfizz, something has instructed Fred to only eat dead things."
That doesn't sound good. Who is instructing him to eat corpses?
"Fred, who instructed you this?" He will turn to Fizzfizz and he will say, "Fizzfizz, it was the goat."
Oh, of course it was the goat. That goat was weird.
He will think to himself and then he will turn back to Fred and he'll say, "Fred, is she a nice person?" "So when she said she had an offer for me, should I take it?" Shoulder's gonna turn to Fizz, and he's gonna say, Fred said that she is nice to animals who are alive, and then also said that I should consider her deal if I am more bird than human. But if I am more human than bird, I probably shouldn't.
Wait, you're human?
No, it was something I used to convince Fred that I was friend.
Oh. Okay, well, why does the goat not like humans? What is specifically bad about them?
He will turn to Fred and say, Yes, Fred. Why does she dislike humans? Right now? He's going to turn to Fizz and he's going to say, Fred couldn't say, but he did say that Goat Lady might want to talk to me again.
I see. Well, this goat lady seems interesting if she can make a frog able to eat, well, people, I guess, and plates and other things, and a whole chair.
I wonder what she could make me do. And then he will turn to Fred and say, Well, how would I know where she is? So we have to go back to the rock. He's going to turn to Fizz and he's going to say, Well, should we go back to the rock?
I think we should take Kyle if we're going back to the rock.
This is true. The rock is far. And then he's going to go approach Kyle. Is Kyle sleeping?
Indeed.
Annihilated. Shoulder is going to message Kyle. And he's going to say, Kyle, are you awake? Shoulder is going to yell, He's awake! Yeah. I'm sorry, Kyle, but we have important business. Fun, important business. Say, are you excited to see Goat Lady again? Goat Lord. If you charge your fastest, I will see if we can get a sheep on the way by. It is settled. Charge fast to Goat Lord Lady.
Go, Lord, lady. Sure, all the people will be terrified and running in our wake. Terrified shouts coming from the houses as they slam the doors closed.
Is there anyone like nearby at all? That granary window? Or that granary in general? No, Shoulder's just going to, he's going to like briefly stop and he's going to say, if that granary boy was real, fear not. We go see the goat again. And then he will keep going. Keep goading.
Keep goading.
The question is, did you make a map this time?
I answered the same one.
Dude, there's no way he thought we were going to see this Goat Lady twice. He's pissed. Oh my god. Well, and I'll turn to Fred. That's what Fred said to do. Charge, Kyle. Fred? Where is she? I think so, but this is as far as I know. And then as he says that, he'll try to do like is there like an intelligence check, just a flat intelligence check or something that he can do? To like see if there would be a different point in time where he would have met her without realizing it? That's 12, by the way. Wait. This is either Goat Lady or we are about to be in a different realm.
A different realm?
It's been a long week.
Is that just a normal thing that happens to you?
This week it has been.
Oh. Well, I don't want to go to another realm.
My money's on the goat lady. Don't worry.
I think Fizz is probably gonna do a look around and see if he can see anything worth
Yeah.
looking at.
Shoulder would have also done this.
Oh no.
Fizz.
Yeah?
I hear it. I hear a snake. Or some kind of hiss. It sounded like
Oh.
chanting when I had speak with animals on.
Well then I guess it's snakes? Do you think they're related to the goat lady?
If I have any kind of grasp on this magic, which I don't think I do, I think they all may just know the goat lady.
Well, if you're looking for the goat lady, I guess there's nothing else we can do, right?
Yes, Fizz, but Kyle hates snakes.
Oh.
He's beginning to question. This is going to be a great time to ask, can I upcast speak with animals? Yeah. All right. Holy snakes.
There are a bunch.
Upcasting speak with animals. It's going to come out again. It doesn't consume a spell, so I'll just do that. But it obviously does. Yeah, and loot's coming out again. Shoulder is going to say, Kyle, be calm. And then he's going to look towards the serpents and he's going to say, can we help you guys? Fizz Fizz, they're chanting sacrifice.
Oh no! I'm not tasty. Don't eat me. Fizz starts scrambling on top of Kyle, and like moving up as far back as he can while still being on Kyle.
Shoulder facing this massive fucking serpent is going to say, hello, sir. I okay. Yes, hello, Sir Pent. Um, we, yeah, yes, King Serpent. We, we came here to meet with a goat lady god. Oh, hello.
Do you always hang out inside the mouths of giant serpents?
Fizz Fizz.
What?
I don't know that we are in a spot to be questioning things.
You know what? That's fair.
Shoulders. He's not kneeling or bowing, but like he's definitely like, I don't know what like cowed, I think is the word. Like he's definitely like he's not he's not confident. You know what I mean? Like he's showing some sort of understanding of the situation. And he's going to message the goat lady, and he's going to say, "Hi, Fred said you may want to speak with me." Yes, he seems like a very nice fellow. He, with another message, will say, "Yes, I do hope they didn't get the idea that I was sacrificing anyone in this group with us." With another message, Shoulder will say, "Oh, yes. Well, do you require a sacrifice from Sestan?" Shoulder will I don't know if there's a mental way to convey shock, but you know, it would be there if possible. And he's going to message back, and he's going to say, I do not know that I hold the power for the whole town. Maybe, like, I don't know, the captain of the guard seems rather mean to animals. Maybe we start there? I did not know this. It is, well, that seems like a good person to start with.
Good old snake men. So Fizz is gonna turn towards Shoulder very frantically and say, there are snake men and they're coming and they have weapons and I don't like this. And he's like actually like shivering and shaking in fear.
Shoulder is going to quickly glance back, and he'll see probably just their silhouettes. He's not looking too longingly, and he's going to switch back to Goat Lady, and he's going to message her and say, "Are they with us?" He'll he'll trying to calm Fizz down for whatever good he can do. He'll say, Fizz, I think they're friendly as long as we are friendly.
Oh, okay. And then he'll try to stop shaking, but he'll just continue shaking.
With a message back to the Goat Lady, he will say, "Well, I don't see why not, but I don't know. I've seen the power of you within, well, merely Fred, let alone these others. I do not want to. I don't want to hope for too much, but it is intriguing, I cannot lie. That is intriguing. That is, objectively. But he's going to say,
Fred knows the secrets of every dead man.
yeah, literally. He's going to say, I may have been hoping for something different than eating dead things. With maybe as the goat lady says his name, he'll probably like shudder a little physically, and he'll say, "Well, now that you mention it, I haven't never really got that far, but something to maybe connect me to the spiders and other, what did you say, denizens of the forest?" Yeah, that sounds, well, that sounds helpful. With another shudder, he's starting to feel like he's overstaying his welcome. And he's going to say, "Okay, so captain of the guard, right?" Okay. Well, I'm not trying to insinuate that Fred and this conversation has not already been very helpful, but is there any other way you could assist me in that? Or am I to do it by myself? With like an over dramatic nod of his head. Dramatic's the wrong word, but you get the point. Yeah, over exaggerated. There you go. He'll say, "Okay, it shall be done."
Are we gonna go now?
Shoulder's going to look at Fizz and just nod, and he will look back to the serpents and say, as he's like as he's chittering to Kyle to start moving and away. He's going to say, "Thank you, guys. See you later." Okay, wait.
Fizz tenses up, like all his muscles like strain to keep him controlled and in place and not running away. Has he got another corpse in him?
Turning to Fred, so before he does that, he'll turn to Fred and then he'll look at Fizz and he'll say, I think that they have some problem with Fred. And then he'll turn to Fred and say, Fred, is everything all right? Oh my god.
How do you even fit that in there? Crescendo.
Crescendo, yeah.
Can we go now while they're distracted, please?
With a nod of understanding, Shoulder is going to say, I'm sorry you lost that, Fred, but I would like to go now. And he's going to say, Kyle, charge fast away.
With the giant snake in front of him.
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah, no. We're out. As fast
We
as
met the monster that's gonna end up killing our fucking pets. We hit the long rest button.
Mhm.
How
It took
long
some
we're in
time.
there for? All right. Regardless, I'm not going to speak for Fizz, but Shoulder is way too like shocked, like to care about anything. He just really wants to go to bed. He is going to. I don't really know how this would happen, but like he's going to try and make like a mental note to like try and wake up earlier to. I guess maybe he would tell Kyle to ask him to wake him up earlier or something, so that he can try and find a way to plan out his captain assassination.
Captain Murder.
Yeah. Hey, Fizz didn't agree with
Hey,
anything.
yeah, Fizz wasn't a part of the conversation. They were messaging back and forth.
Fizz, you're just as damned as an accomplice.
He was just sitting in silence, wishing
Silence
not to
is
be
consent. Oh
in
my
his defense, he
God.
was being threatened with a giant serpent that's like 60 feet long or something.
It just makes you a coward.
Yeah, Fizz would never
See,
admit
this is
that.
why Jason's racism is what was needed, okay? He knew. He's like, that kobold, he's trouble.
If the kobold wasn't here, the same thing would have happened.
Yeah.
This is probably like how 90% of like goblin packs are made with like evil gods. It's like, yeah. Big
All
scary
right.
thing shows up.
Long rest button.
You guys are role playing out.
Oh no, you guys have to deal with the corpse first. Losers.
No, that's true. That is the next thing.
You thought you get to press the long rest button?
We're all in bed by the time a human corpse appears, and literally no one knows about it, so it just looks like it appeared.
Travel back in time. He's Sleep Man.
Benson, Big Crow. It did take a while.
I thought it was Shoulder who's the sleepy crow right now.
Is Mithridates here while we're at it?
I'm here.
Hallelujah.
I'm just in a trance.
Big Crow.
He's drunk trance.
He is drunk, man. He drank the ale in real life. Oh, it's Jover. Damn. The thing is, we kind of need him for the captain thing.
Yeah, at the table. Yep. Yep. As the scores under him. It'll be
Oh, it'll be nighttime when we wake up. Well, since Free
He will
Crow's
be
not here for the very important captain of the guard meeting, I guess it's fine to just have Jason do stuff in the evening. Because I do want to get some things out of the way. Do I hit the long rest button? Yeah. First thing he'll do upon waking up is make a hangover cure with his slumbering vessel. It's not letting me because it says a charge is required, but it's been a day. Why has it not refreshed? Anyway, accursed item. Yeah, he'll make the Valentis cure, which
Yeah,
includes coffee, Coke, not the classic kind, or
I
maybe it
would
is.
say that Shoulder's trying to wake up as early as possible while still getting all the benefits of the long rest. Yeah.
Jason's only at the tipsy stage because he drank until he's wasted, and then sleeping gets him to the drunk stage, and then the cure will get him to the tipsy stage. So he's a little red in the face. This is normal Jason. This is how Jason's been for most of his time in SIS-10. Asking for me to heal. Cool. Can't wait till I learn like a recipe for a giant's potion or something, so I can just make Jason big at any time instead of just. Oh, if I'm big as a dude, my squid gets big too. Oh. Oh my god. I can wrestle the Hydra. I become a Kraken. A baby Kraken. Krakens are supposed to be their own thing. They're like magically powerful or something. Well, they can be a patron is the thing. So I imagine they're pretty powerful. They can be a warlock patron.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure krakens are inherently magical. Yeah, they're not just regular beasts. They're more like dragons.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, time for a squid race that's not the, guys that eat your brain. The secret dragon.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're straight up the largest size possible. I'm pretty sure.
Oh Lord. But yeah. We wake up, it's evening. Vincent's disposed of the body.
So yeah, I
Try to tell the others.
He's traumatized and doesn't really know what to do. He probably climbs up in the tree because he doesn't want to get peed on by Fred. Because apparently that will kill him. And then tries to sleep in the tree and is like, I will worry about resolving stuff later when I'm not freaked out. Because you
Is he
made it a point
dreaming
to say
about
that
black
everyone's
goats?
tired. That or maybe his ancestor. Mhm. Well, I think he would be exhausted just from like constantly shaking and terrified and like just being in that situation and like feeling like he's going to be eaten by a giant monster snake. So yeah, I think he's probably just wiped at this point, and he's decided he's gonna sleep in the tree. Yeah, and he doesn't actually need it technically, but
Oh yeah, am I doing it or no? It is not a new day. Yeah, it's the skills you can only do. Yeah.
He's just gonna chill for another few hours until everyone else is expected to wake up. Yeah, he's just gonna stay in the room and be bored.
Robo see.
He awaits his patron. Mitridates will ask for any guidance if there is any, or if he should continue with the group. Thank you, Master. I will continue to serve. Yep.
Yeah, he straps himself back up. His weapon's clean. And he just heads out the door to get some answers from the only man he can think of that could have some. I don't know if Mithridates notices him leaving or not. I'll take the silence as a no.
We're in different rooms, no?
Yeah, but like you can hear my door opening, like Jason's awake or something.
Oh, yeah. In that case, Mitridates will zoom out. Well, not zoom out. He'll emerge and catch up with you.
Jason will turn to him and he'll say, "You know what time is it, lad? You didn't sleep. I didn't sleep very. I didn't oversleep, did I?"
I will. I will tell Jason the approximate time.
Damn. I hope he's up burning the midnight oil. We have to make our way. I have to make my way to the Thunder district. Loath as I am to do so. Yeah, if Mithridates has nothing to say at that, he'll say, "You're welcome to tag along if you wish, lad."
He will nod and tag along.
Yeah, he's gonna try and see if he can get a last minute appointment with the priest. He's just role playing really well, guys.
Perfect.
If you put your mouse near the little guys who are on the map, it looks like that's their names. There's Balefall there. Oh, the Shambler's on a horse. Or maybe the horse is named Shambler. Go, Shambler. Giddy up, boy. There's a
Are
little
we just
Balefall there.
bedtime or? No, I mean everyone. Did everyone else fall asleep as well?
This is here.
Yeah, I
Tell
think
him
everybody rested.
I mean the players, not the characters.
Oh, the players, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is 3 Crow. Yeah.
The sunburn got him.
Oh yeah, and repair the
Yeah, he's dead.
table.
It worked out.
The skeleton. Yeah. And he fed them all to brother.
We could always hand wave it that the structural integrity wasn't that great and he could just crush it into dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has flashbacks to the undead in the dreams.
Yeah, he's moving around the big heavy wood parts and he's accidentally like smashing parts of the skeleton and he doesn't even realize it. It's like, what is this cracking that I'm hearing?
Oh, a skull.
My brother. Yeah. A fine treat for brother.
So yeah, Jason and Mithridates make it over. Ah. Yeah, so yeah, we go there. Jason makes, as they enter the Thendar district, he makes the sailor sign and then another sign of like of silence. I don't know how to really describe it other than that. It's a yeah. It's directly after the sailor sign. It's like an extension of it. And they head on over, and if no one stops them, they go to look for Priestman. Jason says, "Greetings. What would he say here? I'm seeking an audience with the high priest of this here church." Aye, that'd be a wise look at it. So I take it we can head in. I'm becoming Russian with time. We'll try to be brief. Jason seems uncomfortable and out of place. He tries to soothe his nerves.
No, he's an elf. He doesn't care for human superstitions.
Who cares what the dogs pray to? Oh Lord, is the priest there? Oh. Jason will walk up and say, "Apologies, Father, but I'd seek a moment of your time." Jason will say, if Mithridates doesn't say anything, he'll say, I do not know. I do not think we have probably met. Jesus Christ, Narath, go away. I don't believe we properly met. But I am Jason Talane, member of Ben Tabarsky's party. This is, then he says, this is my compatriot, Mithridates. He is also a member. I do not know if you've read the captain's reports yet, but I am here to make my own account, considering some of the more mystical details. That will depend. Assuming you've read the report, did he bother to mention the dreams? The captain said he spoke with Lathandar. And I believe him to be the truthful sort. But when we all went into that place, when our eyes shut, it was no consecrated temple, if you know what I mean. Foulness had taken it, and we faced many things that I've never seen, despite having sailed across the many seas for all my life. Things I need the expertise of a holy man to truly understand. I arrived seemingly later, for when my consciousness joined the fray, they were already engaging in battle with dead things and beasts shrouded in shadow and dark magic from the look. It was in a temple like this one, but much larger, much grander. A temple for giants. We did battle there with many a foul creature, foul like the demon that I saw, but different. As if all the dead in the world had come up to drag us down with them. Alright, so now there's the hard part. How much does Jason want to lie to this man? Hmm. Hmm. Jason will say, "There is another thing, father. It was not Lathander that brought me before those creatures. It was a great serpent that came to me in my dreams. Now, I've served on a very venerable ship of very superstitious men. Men who saw many things greater than me. But I've never known serpents to be friends of Lathander. You have any idea why such a great and terrible thing would wish something like me to fight alongside a paladin?" Forget what exactly I said with Umberly in that dream. Okay, okay. Okay, so he'll say, "Aye, there was an offer that I accepted. And now I have this thing in my inventory. Do I actually have this thing in my inventory, or is it just like in case I ever found more? Because it says none, but I have it. It says quantity 0, but I have it actually in my inventory. Okay. Okay. So in which case he'll just say, yeah, I was gonna, if I had one, I was gonna produce one, so I thought. But he'll say instead that, aye, there was a pact, a deal made to escape the purgatory that it had kept me in. The deal was big. He gave me. I interpreted it at the time as a quest to slay more of the bandits. Where you see, I found charms that I recognize from the more unsavory lot that I've met in my life. Charms to a wicked goat, a wicked female. The only terms in which it told me was to slay the whore. Pardon my language, father. I took it to mean it wanted another dead god.
Wow.
Oh my god, he's alive.
Yeah, fucking natural one.
would seem that you're Lathandar and whatever and the great serpent have a mutual enemy. Aye. But we don't get to choose what gods gaze upon us now, do we, Father? Or I wanted to be very much gods if mere men could shrug them off so easily. Jason looks at Mithridates.
That's an awkward question. Mithridates will just say that he serves his own gods.
I'm gonna roll an insight with disadvantage. Because Jason likes Mithridates. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I guess he will. He'll say, "Aye, Father. I believe we all need to do a little soul searching." God, that voice just keeps changing. Aye,
Gotta say
Father.
laddie. Sorry.
No, sometimes I say a cursed bird because it just comes. Cursed bird. But Don't make me laugh. I have to do it again. Hi, father. Okay, I said the line alright, but let's say, and there's only a couple more questions to be asked, much more minor in comparison. First would be mention of the snake folk. I don't know if Benson alerted to you to their presence. Aye, nothing but trouble, that lot. Murder some raiders. And there's only one more oddity that I experienced, at least. In our travels in the woods, I encountered a animal. I'm becoming Russian. I encountered an animal father. Seemed capable of using magics, teleporting about. Right when I would see it, I thought myself perhaps a wee bit confused or mad for a moment, but when the steel watch stabbed it on our way back, I knew then that it was real. Could this have been an agent of the Black Goat? Thank you, Father, for the wise counsel. I believe that's all I have for you, at least today. He'll turn to Mithridates then. What do you, wizard? Do you have any questions for the man?
He'll just shake his head and thank the guy for his time.
Jason will give a stiff bow. That looks very awkward on him, and turn to leave. Assuming no one stops them, he'll exit the temple, take a shot, and then he will take one of the glasses that he just always has on him, because alcoholic, pour a bit of it in there, sprinkle some salt, and then pour it on him, and then do a sailor sign immediately, and then he'll mutter under his breath, Forgive the necessity, my lady.
I am here. Well, with the original mysterious blunder having passed, Benson will start delegating some tasks to Brother in order to help him finish up the table. To see Brother holding big pieces of wooden plank. So Benson will do his best to fix up the table the best he can. It may not be his best work, but he definitely makes an effort to get it back in working condition.
I think it'll do just fine, Benson. However, when you sort of like stand up and stand back to finish your work, you'll notice a peculiar oddity underneath the table. Now that you've fixed it up, there's a bone. You're not quite. It looks exactly like the bone that would be on any given skeleton, and Brother immediately leaps for it.
Well, how strange. It seems someone has left a treat for you, Brother.
Perfect. Well, as you kick up all of the other bone dust and sawdust, and get it tidied up as best you can can be proud of your work, Benson. You've fixed the table as you had mentioned, and now you can go out there and get to shopping based on the things that you mentioned to me. I'm guessing you would want to do those in the context of like you'd want to do those before you went to turn in for the night, or would you want to sleep off the mead or whatever first and then go do them after? Because it's like 2 in the afternoon about now, so if you take a long rest now, it'll be 10 p.m. when you wake up, so it'll be a bit weird hours wise.
He'd probably, considering that Benson is only having the one mead.
Yeah.
He'd probably be okay to do a little shopping after this.
Yeah, makes sense. So in that case, we can say that that's your downtime act. And we resolved the mysterious human remains all along the way. Isn't that wonderful, guys?
Oh, just a treat for Brother.
Don't you love when things come together?
I love when a plan comes together.
Very silly.
On the next episode,
Exactly.
Fred is a CR20 Eldritch Abomination.
So I don't know if you were awake for all of it, Three Crow, or you were here for all of it, or whatever happened when you had your extended break. But there was another meeting with the Black Goat of the Woods, and I don't know if you saw it, but it was pretty amusing.
I think I missed it. I have no idea how long I was out. I just know I woke up to the sound of somebody's voice, and then I was immediately in great pain. So
Oh, epic.
Yeah, from your sunburn, right?
yeah.
Okay. Before we all depart, hopefully that doesn't. I mean, are you sunburnt all the way around, or is it just the front? Like, can you sleep without it being painful?
No, like last night, I laid awake in agony until like 2:30 in the morning, and then I was like in and out of consciousness for the next couple of hours until I was awoken by other people in the room.
That's pain.
That is unfortunate.
And you probably have work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna use PTO tomorrow because
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, hoping that is much less painful tomorrow, and that you still use your PTO so that you can say fuck it and do other things.
Actually relax.
Yeah. So I do want to say I obviously have Benson's downtime actions. Jason and Metro Daddies went to go see Elric after their sleep. What are, if there are any downtime actions that Shoulder and Fizz have decided on or thought about, what are you guys thinking for what you do when you wake up? Like, you're going to wake up and it's going to be like 11 o'clock at night, maybe close to midnight. So it's going to be pretty dark. But you guys are going to be well rested. So is there anything in particular?
Probably eats pie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And then I'm not really sure. What would Fizz do? He probably want to ask Childer about the whole Black Goat thing and what they talked about. Since he hasn't done that yet.
Shoulder is so I guess when Shoulder comes to, you know, you'll be you'll kind of like when he finally starts talking to you, he'll just be very like he won't really give you an answer. Like you'll find him like he'll be thinking pretty hardly. You'll probably have to say it to him a couple times before he gives you an answer. And then he'll look at you and be like, "Oh, just your regular old sacrifices, I guess."
What are you gonna sacrifice?
He's gonna again. He'll look like he's retreating into thought, and then he'll say, "Can I trust you?"
I don't know. That depends. What is it that you're supposed to sacrifice?
How do you feel about the captain of the guard?
I don't know. I don't really know him.
Well, you see, I don't either. They tell me, the goat, that is, said he used to be a hunter and he does not like the woods very much. So we made a deal that I would kill the captain of the guard and feed him to Fred.
What? You're wait, that's a joke, right?
No.
No. But why would you Why would you agree to do that?
Well, he hurts animals.
Well, and we eat the animals too, right? Like, there were meat pies. I mean, I didn't have any yet, but I want to. Does that? Are you going to kill me too?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't like the big goat lady. She's kind of scary. She had a giant snake and other snake people with weapons, and it all seemed very, I don't know, threatening, and I didn't like it. I don't think she's. I don't think it's a good idea to listen to her.
Well, Kyle likes her.
Well, Kyle is also a giant spider.
What are you trying to insinuate?
I love this.
I haven't met a spider before that is very smart. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Kyle also likes me. I figure his judgment is sound.
I don't know about that one. I'm gonna just say, I feel like angering an entire city full of people might be a bad idea.
Well, I mean, they would have to catch me.
Yep, because you didn't almost get caught in the tavern.
Well, that was before I knew what Fred could do. This is different times.
I'm just saying, seems like a really big risk to take for a random goat lady who threatens you with a giant snake.
Well, I was never threatened. She
They
actually
were,
offered me power.
yeah, but they were chanting sacrifice. I don't know. It just seems like they're a little eager to, I don't know, kill and eat people, maybe? Like Fred already does, apparently, by peeing on them?
I think it's important that you know Fred didn't mean to kill him. It just, he got very excited.
My point is, things related to Black Goat Lady seem to all be scary and related to either eating things or killing them. And I, for one, do not desire to be eaten nor killed at any point.
Well, you see, that's why I came up with this amazing plan. And, you know, you don't have to come along. You can stay in the safe range.
Oh my god. Why did I pick to become friends with you?
Do you say that in character or out of character?
No, that's in character. That's in the voice. I think we're
Shoulder
gonna need
looks
to...
very
wait.
Shoulder looks very hurt at this. He's going to say, well, because I'm epic.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch at this point.
Oh, burn!
Okay, well, I need to be rude about it. Look, I promise, whether you come with me or not, Goat Lady will do no harm to you.
Are you sure that's true and that you're not just lying to me right now?
You can roll insight.
That is true. I will roll insight.
And I guess what we need from...
Oh shit,
no.
my insight
You
is terrible.
I will allow advantage if DM feels a reason to give you advantage.
Well, are you being deceptive or are you being persuasive?
No, he genuinely believes that.
Okay, well,
He's not even trying to persuade him. Like he's just telling the truth. Now, whether or not that he can uphold that truth is
The
not.
DM should
He
allow
believes
an
he can.
intelligence check.
Yeah, I mean,
Fizz
I think-
passes.
I think what
he
you've
can put
what
the
you've
connection
gleaned.
that he believes him, but he's
Yeah.
retarded.
I think what you've gleaned is that Shoulder, I mean, he clearly has some power over animals, but he was not the one who had the most power over animals in that meeting. And even though he
Yeah.
seems to believe what he's saying, as best you can tell, and he's not being duplicitous, I don't know if that Fizz agrees with that with
That
the power
assessment,
that
right?
Shoulder
Like, yeah.
has. Yes, I don't think that Fizz agrees
Yeah,
with
that's
Shoulder's
accurate.
conclusion.
That sounds about
You
right.
just know that he's not lying to you, like in his
Right.
belief that he doesn't want you to get hurt from Goat Lady.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I believe that you don't mean any harm to me, but getting caught up in all this, I don't think you have the power or control that you think you might have with whatever that goat lady actually is. Because it's not normal for a giant goat to walk out of a giant snake. That's just weird.
I'm a bird.
And I am kobolds, but I don't see how that's relevant.
We're all weird. I mean, look at Kyle.
Yeah,
And I
a giant
purchased
spider,
Fistjaw.
and he's a giant crocodile. But the giant goat isn't just a giant goat, is it?
Well, I'm not just a big bird. And
Well,
Fred's not just a frog.
yeah, and Fred scares me too, so
Well,
somehow he scares me more than the giant spider, actually.
Look, be all that as it may, I still want to help the animals.
I understand you like the animals. That's fine. There's no problem with that. I just don't think the goat lady is. I think she. I don't know. I just think that listening to her is probably going to end up with you or me or one of your animal friends getting hurt. I don't want that to happen.
I don't think she would hurt the animals.
I'm not saying she's going to be the one hurting them.
I see. Well, with my amazing plan, that is definitely amazing. The only person coming with me would be Fred. Unless, I guess, unless you want to tag along, but I'm starting to realize that maybe you just shouldn't. Here, I will explain to you my awesome plan.
Okay.
The plan was to approach the gate and convince the guard through various means of magicness that I needed to see the captain right now.
Okay.
Now, we're all very smart here. You
Speed it up, yeah. I gotta go.
Once we met with the captain, I would have killed him and fed him to Fred. But maybe, just maybe, I could decide to talk to the captain and see how I feel about him instead.
Okay.
I'm not even sure the captain is going to come see you just because you asked the guards.
I can be very convincing.
I would like to see that. Anyway, I'm not going with that plan because I will die if I go with you. So I'm going to stay here.
That is understandable. You are tired. That he will start to get ready to go.
All right.
And that can be where we end it.
So what is Fizz gonna do as Shoulder attempts his masterful plan?
Changed masterful plan. He has been convinced not to immediately kill the captain.
Fizz is actually floored by how incredibly simple that plan was.
Yep.
And is now very concerned on how this is going to go, and is going to be torn between going and trying to like alert the others, or absolutely just running away and deciding this was having friends was a bad idea.
Or third option, he could just watch from the trees.
That's true. He probably will end up doing that,
Okay.
because the issue he's going to have is if he wants to go warn the others, he kind of has to go in front of
The guards
Shoulder,
and
and that's
Shoulder.
yeah, and right, that's probably not gonna go well, because if he's trying to get in when Shoulder shows up, he's gonna be like, "Why are you here?"
He would need to sneak in and try to go from a different angle into the city or something.
Yeah, which would take a while anyway, and his
Yeah.
plan is so simple, it's going to happen immediately.
Apparently, yes.
If he just walks up and says, "I would like to see the guard," the guard captain, and then kills him. Like, what a
I
plan.
mean, to be fair, he can hide the body very well. So if he does it quietly and out of sight, it
Well,
could
yeah,
just
but that
be the
didn't.
guard
He didn't
captain
say anything.
disappeared.
Well, on the
So,
next
yeah,
His last
he
scene
didn't
with
tell you- he didn't
Shoulder,
tell you
but
the whole
who cares
plan.
about that?
on the next
That's true.
episode of this absolutely off the rails project here, we will see how this goes. But hey, at least some of these threads that were entirely disconnected at first have been made connected. You guys know that Fred isn't just a random dude, he's also a servant of Ursuline. Jason finds out about Ursuline from Elric.
Yep.
Now you know that there's like this force, and apparently the Sejari are in with it, so that's another connection. You know, this is like I'm trying to make things make some sense. You know.
Yeah.
I swear to God,
Despite our best efforts.
Yes.
if he kills the captain before we get paid,
Yep, I thought about that too.
I swear.
I mean,
I
that
will
just means the whole
wear
party
it.
would also be drawn with the captain, right? If you guys go find the captain first or whatever, and you go to the armory, and then he's
But
like,
to be fair, how is he gonna first thing he's gonna do is come see us in the tavern, I imagine, because it's gonna be a busy day for him. So I
yeah, or
imagine
you could go
he'd
find
come-
him at the captaincy or whatever. But he did say that his plan was to meet you guys in the tavern, so that's probably
Yeah,
where
well,
you'd
it's
Yeah, I
night
imagine
then,
it's like
right?
a morning thing, you know.
Yeah.
Just knock that out.
Yeah.
So he might go to the guard and say, "Hey, I want to talk to the captain." And say, "Oh, he's at the tavern. You can try
Yeah,
and catch
he
him
goes.
there." He
Yeah.
comes into the middle of the bargaining and stabs him.
And then feeds him to Fred and then turns invisible. Yeah, that's
And then he
then,
insists
yeah.
he was a bad guy, guys.
well, hey, Mithridates would agree. Mithridates doesn't like him. So. All right, well, feel free to leave impressions in the channel, in the text channel. I gotta pop off.